Let's just start. Laura Racky, what's the week like for you this week? You seem a little, I don't know exactly how to put it, savage?
Yeah, I think I'm at the point in my week where I'm done playing nice and smoothing things over, and you'll get the most direct version of me.
You're done
today.
playing nice and smoothing things over, and now you're going to start being direct. Now, you know I love your directness, and anybody who knows you can be quite direct, but we're going to do something on being direct? I don't know.
Did that last week.
I did. I've thrown the schedule out, so I don't really remember.
No, I mean that point where I'm going, everybody has lost their mind, or does that mean I have?
Yeah.
You know, like how could it be everybody? Can't be me.
I think there's some strange things going on. I think people have lost it a bit.
No, don't indulge me.
It's true though.
What's that?
You know I'm going to indulge you for starters. I'm always going to follow you down, and I'm going to enable you down.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, no, strange things are happening, but
I just have felt like everyone's just being unnecessarily difficult this week.
Am I on that list?
Not right now. Ask me later.
Okay. So I sometimes get swept up in this list occasionally, and I think it's a bit unfair, but I think I'm pretty easy to get along with. Okay. I think we start. This is a really good topic because you know this is going to allow you to step into your savagery,
Unfurl the
and you'll
spinnaker.
unfurl the spinnaker and let some of this steam off.
Oh, okay.
Leaving a toxic environment.
Yeah.
Now this is work setting, but you know I might move it around a little bit. Let's start with work setting.
Okay.
So tell me what you've got a note from you.
So I did a post this week. I've got the view that when you're in a toxic workplace, where I presume you've done everything you could to resolve the issues, and I would encourage anybody who's in a workplace not to just drop and run, to actually speak to the toxic people, raise it with senior people, raise it with HR, whatever.
Try something.
Try something, yeah?
Yes.
So that you can put your hand on your heart and say, I really did everything I could to resolve this toxicness, whatever.
Toxicity.
Chill out. It's been a long week. I did everything I could to resolve this toxic behaviour in my workplace.
Yeah.
Nothing's changing. Nothing's improving. It's best for me to move on. So you've gone and looked elsewhere. You've been offered a job, and now it's time to resign.
Yep.
My view is to just do it simply and quietly, work out your notice period or whatever your obligations are,
Yep.
and get out of there and get on with your life. The lure, because you're angry, because you might have a sense of justice, because you want people to pay,
But
you want people to
legitimately, you might
suffer.
have a
Absolutely.
yeah.
The lure is to burn the house down on your way out.
So seductive. Yeah.
So, you know, going and having these complex exit interviews, talking to everybody in the business about why you're leaving, how terrible this person is. Like, it's totally seductive, and I understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just that I'm older and I think about things differently, and I'm always looking for the why and the what's the point. What are you hoping to achieve from that behaviour?
Yeah.
You've done everything you could to have this addressed.
Yep.
The company has told you loudly and clearly that they don't care. They're comfortable with the toxic person or people or culture. It's not going to change. They don't care about you enough to change it.
Yep.
Why do you think it's worth your energy to burn it down on your way out? I think maintain your integrity. Don't burn your bridges with other people in the business who might not have been contributing.
Correct.
As, you know, loose lip sync ships type stuff. Don't be indiscreet. And don't put your energy and effort into something that's going to have zero effect. Focus on the future.
Yeah.
You've made a decision. Just get out of there. Now, of course, people are going to say, but it's your duty. You should help others. You know, how is culture going to change if you're not honest in an exit interview? Again, you should have been saying these things before the exit interview.
But you may have, Laura, and no one listened. So
right, so why raise it in the exit interview?
So, and this is where the tension lies. It's like How much is on you to fix a culture
It's
that
not
doesn't
on you.
want to that doesn't want to be fixed, right? That doesn't want to be fixed. And then how much is on you on the way out to explain to that toxic environment, employer,
Right.
people looking the other way as to why you're leaving? Like, the obligation on you is zero.
Yes.
If you make the effort, if you actually take a few steps and you realise back in your box, your obligation ends that day.
Let's use, I haven't read as much about the JLL issue as you did,
Yeah.
but let's just use it as a case study, and I'm going to make wild assumptions here.
It's not too wild.
My guess in a culture and an organisation like that is that everybody knew.
So let's start with what was actually going on. How about it? Right. So there was an investigation into JLL, obviously global multinational property company, and the Australian CEO was removed recently. And the announcement didn't come from the global CEO, which is very strange to me, which was some sort of side executive and HR. It's very odd to me that the global CEO was not at the head of that. So that tells me maybe there's more to come. And now, I don't know the facts, you don't know the facts, but this is what has been reported. This individual, there was some behaviour going on outside of work hours, but really disgusting stuff that we won't talk about here. And then maybe inside of work hours potentially as well. And then also a person had a claim against them for sexual harassment against an individual. It had been upheld as true. Mm-hmm. And this CEO tried to put them back in the office 2 months later with the person that the claim was held against. Now, okay, there's some grey around maybe this out of hours, this is personal time. There's no grey about some of this behaviour. Like, it is as clear as it gets. So anyway, that's the scope.
Right. So again, I'm filling in gaps here, but you've got CEO, known sexual harassment perpetrator,
And other behaviour, yeah.
and the head of that company says that's okay. He's to come back to work, and he's going to come back into the office where the victim is working.
God almighty.
So what is that telling you about the culture? And that is a decision, we've talked about this before, that is a decision of that company to put the performance ahead of the culture and the ethics of that business.
Yeah, it's way worse than that, but yes, at its simplest form.
So, of course, like, this is not me saying that victims should not speak up or if you have made it clear that something has happened to you and the organisation has done nothing about it, and then it's time for you to move on, what do you think wasting your last 4 weeks trashing the place internally is going to do? Nothing. They don't care. They have chosen that senior person because they make more money than you. They're more valuable than you. Sorry, they don't care about you.
Do you
think... I'm guessing the only reason that this has gone how it's gone is because it has come out publicly and there is a reputational risk. They didn't care about the culture.
Interestingly, in the article I was reading about it, the global, and this is not my opinion, but I was writing it saying that the global CEO is looking to attend Davos, like the World Economic Forum, in February. So he's trying to distance himself from it because he doesn't want his name next to the scandal. And I'm like, look, I get it. There are, it's easy to sit there, and we're going to talk about something a bit later about, the difficulty when you get to a certain level of executive leadership, like really, really senior levels. But this is so black and white. I just don't understand how companies, we're talking about toxic environments, think if you've got a rainmaker or a series of rainmakers who are sexually harassing people in your... Mate, where do you think that's going to end? Who wants to be... I don't care how much money you make.
Ask anybody in the legal profession where it ends. That nothing changes. Those partners keep their jobs because they have panel roles, they have panel gigs that are too valuable to the firm, far more valuable than a $70,000 legal secretary. You could have 10 of them burnt through in 5 years, paid out, and it would still be worth more to keep that person there.
I understand that. Look, I'm more pragmatic about this than you are, right?
Devastating, and that is not me saying accept it, don't do anything.
No, you're saying
don't
what?
Speak
You're
up.
talking about the calculation that they're making, right?
And so, sorry, let's go back. I'm talking. Let's go back. I've digressed far too much. I'm thinking on your individual level as a human being who's only got the capacity to move the dial so much.
Yeah.
You've been offered another job. Life is good. You're leaving a toxic environment. Just move on.
Just pull up the shutters.
Move on quietly.
Yeah.
You've told them in the lead up before you've quit what needs to change. They've done nothing. They don't care. Don't waste any more energy on it.
Yeah, it's tough advice. I'm just thinking on it for a minute. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, the saddest part of all of this, the hardest part of all of this is that there's two parts. The calculation is made constantly by companies as to what's the cost of containment. This is not just in toxic environment. It might be like the choice of a recall on a product, all that sort of thing. Like, it's like, what's the cost of the damage versus the cost of the benefit? And I'm not going to sit here naively and say that, those decisions are easy. Like, because there are massive consequences to picking either side of the street. But I just personally, just my personal view, I don't want to be involved with companies that think that way. I don't know anyone who would. I don't understand it.
I think obviously, as with everything, there's a spectrum, right? So, of course, if there's something really serious going on, some fraud, where there's maybe some whistleblower element, like, that's different. But I just think you don't have a personal duty to make a workplace a nicer place to work when you're leaving.
And particularly if you've tried.
If you've tried.
So to summarise, if you've had your crack, you've tried to change the culture and it hasn't changed, you decided to leave, just do it discreetly.
Get your good reference. Don't for example, if you've got a manager that's horrendous, but by behaving compliantly on your way out, means you're going to retain a really good reference. Maybe that's more important to you. Maybe prioritise what you can actually affect and what's really important to you at the end of the day. That manager might give you a great reference, someone you can call in 5 years for a recommendation, and that's going to sting and leave a bad taste in your mouth because they're a terrible person, but they were going to live on another day anyway. So why burn them? I'm very pragmatic about these things. I also love tipping the tables over.
I know you do.
Let's be clear. I also hate injustice. But over time, you've got to realise that sometimes the price you pay for yourself for fighting all these bullshit battles is too high.
Yeah. And for what?
For what?
I've been thinking about that a lot recently as to you got to fully calculate the cost of when you're going to take something on.
Yeah.
Like the full cost. And it makes me sad that there are scenarios where the weaker party by a long way, really there's no winning.
Yep. Shocking. It's
and
terrible.
You can only, justice is not blind.
Well, even if we go back to this professional services, young women, sexual harassment, why do you think it's underreported? Because
what's the point?
What's the point?
In some regard, yeah.
In a lot of these workplaces, all the women know, all the men know too, who these people are. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows. Everybody has watched the parade of people that have left and what's led to it. Nothing changes. They think, am I going to be the one where in the network, it's a small industry, people are going to know I'm the one that made this complaint. It's not going to change. There's not going to be any consequence for this person. Guess where the consequence is going to be? On the victim.
Yes.
It makes me furious.
Let me tell you right now, at this stage of my life, that person, I don't actually know of any people like that. They would not want to be in the same workplace as me.
No, I think slowly it's happening. But
it is happening, but it's way too slowly, right? That person that you're talking about, that would not want to be in the same workplace as me. I'll tell you right now. Because I would go to the mat for it, right? And I understand the full cost of it. But I understand why people can't and don't.
Yeah.
And I would not encourage them to. See, this is another thing, is you see these people who will encourage, you should go and do this, you should go and do that. Mate, where are you going to be in 3 months and 6 months and 9 months and 12 months when God knows where that heads?
That's like a really unfair equation to have to make.
But that is a true equation. Like, it's one of those unfair but true equations. And it's like, it's all well and good pushing them in there, but are they going to be there in 3 months?
No.
Right? Are they going to be there in 6 months? And that's the calculation. So coming back to the original point, which we've slightly digressed from, but I think that's a very important topic. And again, we've gone to some extreme behaviour. There are toxic environments that are just like really insecure people, egotistical,
just crappy behaviour,
Game of Thrones stuff that you don't want to be a part of. And
I think you've just got to sometimes accept, again, if you've raised it, that probably, high likelihood, senior people in the business are very well aware.
Yes.
And they don't care because those people are effective.
They've made the calculation.
They've made the calculation.
Yep. And you'll find that out very quickly. And you ask 2 or 3 people around you who maybe would be in a similar boat, and their response will tell you all you need to know. You know, let's turn the heat down a bit and say just in an environment that is insecure and, you know, a bit egotistical or whatever it might be, nepotism, that sort of thing. A lot of people can work in that environment and just sort of shut off that part of it and say, well, you know, I'm paid pretty well, I've got good conditions. What do I care? Let them play their silly games.
And you could be really emotional. You could have had a lack of self-awareness. You might not realise that you just don't fit in that workplace. And even though it feels like a horrible workplace, it might just not be the workplace for you. You're putting all this energy into trying to agitate for it to change. And maybe the real best change is just to go like you are.
Is it unfair of me to add to the final part of this little segment that it's worth also reflecting on that you don't carry that with you to the next job?
100%.
So I think it's really valuable as you come out of a toxic or environment, same as a relationship, you really want to try and sever those emotions before you start the new thing, because otherwise you're out there looking for, to a hammer everything looks like a nail, you're out there looking for it and you might start seeing things that aren't there in the next place. And
instead you can just learn from the experience and set the tone for yourself afresh in a new place.
So important. It's so important. What a lot of people don't understand is when you're going into a new job, a lot of people feel like they're limping in. They're going in under the conditions set, but no, you can actually reposition your entire professional brand.
You could be a new person.
You literally could be a new person if you're disciplined enough to keep it up. You could say, you know what, there's 2-3 things I didn't handle that well early on in the first, like, you know, this time I'm going to do this differently. And do you know where I learn't this? Because I went to like 5 different schools in 8 years because we traveled a lot. And I actually realized that a lot, like I got better at getting it because it was not easy at moving school to school. And you start to realize you can sort of reinvent parts, burn them off, parts of yourself that you don't want, grow the part and focus and change the perception. The perception they had of you there is not the same. You can have a totally different perception in the next place.
Love it.
Yeah. Do you think we're at break time?
I think so.
Are you watching the clock?
We're only 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So
20 minutes.
Yeah, I think we can take a break. Let's take a shot. All right, let's play on. And we're back. Okay. I want to move on to, I did a little video this week and there's some good response to it. And it's 4 hard things about leadership that they won't tell you, but I will.
Okay.
Now, what I meant about this is really senior leadership. So it's funny we're just talking about very senior leadership, and let's leave these reptiles aside. When you get past a certain level, when you get to the point where real P&L responsibility is in your hands, like you actually are the final decision maker, there are things that are hard, and I'll go through a quick 4 of them, that most people probably wouldn't think about. Okay, so here's the first. Very senior leadership, you will regret not acting on poor performance quicker.
Yep.
So people in your team, small team, big team, organisation, whatever it might be, if you're seeing poor performance, like we're talking about, not even as bad as that, just like if a third of your business, 20% of your business is not performing and you're like, oh, we'll give them 3 months, you will always regret not intervening quicker.
It's so true. You know how many times clients come to me and their probation period is 6 months in their agreement and it's like month 7, or if it's a 3-month probation period, it's month 5. And the thing that's crazy, especially like my clients are so astute.
Yes.
They actually know soon. But there's just that part of them that, you know, we've all got that hope and optimism.
And this is the point, Laura, is that the intervening doesn't mean, right? The intervening doesn't mean getting them out. The intervening means, this is not working. Let's reset the expectations, train, coach,
Yep.
cajole, incentivize, ensure that we've got people set up for success, all that.
We're just in such different headspaces. You're like, lead them, fix it.
And you're like,
I'm
get them out.
Get them out while they're in their probation period so that it's not complicated later.
But that's the point, is that if you're going to make the play, you need to intervene quicker.
Yes.
Because I could tell you 50 in the last 5 years of when it gets 1 month past probation, and they're like, oh, right?
Writing
So
was on the wall
you
day
will
2.
always regret not intervening quicker.
Yep.
And if you give someone a chance, as you should, we all want to give people second, third chance to come along, absolutely give them that chance. But just letting them drift, your best performers will go, what the hell am I breaking my neck for if these people are just going to take the
That's a big
take
one
the
too.
mick?
It's not only the drag of the poor performers, it's the impact on your elite staff.
Yeah, they're like, what are these jokers doing here? Like, why would I bother, going the extra mile? Okay, that's good. I'm happy with that. Yes, I'm happy with my own segment. That's right. Okay, this is a really interesting one. The more senior you get, the more imperfect the information is that you have to rely on to make a decision. So at a certain mid-level, people are giving you the information, right, and giving you guides as to making decisions. You get to a certain level, every decision is available to you, and the information, people will pretend they'll get 100-page reports to cover their backside. No one gets sacked for hiring IBM, but the truth is you're going on your gut. The information is imperfect, it's inaccurate, it's late.
Or you can't be across it maybe in the same way you could in a less senior role because you've got more time.
But it's narrower,
Yeah.
right? So you got it's a thing you can become an expert at. You're having to make decisions reactive. If it gets to your desk, it means probably 3 people have had a crack at it and failed, and you have to make a decision on imperfect information constantly. Now, people will, like I say, get these reports delivered at the end to say, these are the reasons we made this decision, and they'll tell the market that's why, but in the end, it was actually their gut. They looked at 4 indicators. They go, that's a 6 out of 10. That's as close as we're going to get. We're making the call.
Yep.
Because inaction on decision-making is often more dangerous than action.
Yep.
So they'll go, we've got a 6 out of 10 call here or a 55-45 call. We're going to make the call. We're not sure. Fingers crossed, right? Downside risk mitigation, but imperfect information is going to be a big part of it. Happy so far? Yeah. Okay. The third thing about very senior leadership is you actually have to model the standards you expect of others. Back to our reference we were doing earlier, they did not do that. And in fact, they've not done that at all. But
well, they modelled what they thought was acceptable.
Well, then maybe they are modelling the expectations that they had. But if you're going to set expectations at a senior level, you actually have to live them out. So no one likes working, and particularly the superstars, want to work for a do as I say, not as I do. They want to work for a lieutenant, not a general. Someone who is going to say, yes, this is the standard, but I'm doing it too. We dress a certain way and they're immaculate. We go to meetings on time, they're turning up. We go to see clients and they're there. They know what's going on all the time. Their fingers on the pulse. You have to model the expectations of others. If it's going to events, we have to be well presented and you're 6 drinks and under the table, right? You got a problem. If it's that you're at the same event and you're expecting people to be discreet, but you have 4 or 5 drinks and play favourites, you got a big problem. You got to model the standards that you expect of others. Does that make sense?
It does.
So what do you think so far? 3 out of 3?
I like it.
Now, this is a hard one. This is the biggest leap of faith. If you're going to make it big time at the top, if you want to, it's not for everyone. It's not even for many people. You have to aggressively succession plan. In big organisations particularly, no one will allow you to be promoted if you can't be replaced, right? And if you want to make those, and the bigger the jumps, there's fewer branches, there's fewer people that can do the things as you get higher. You need to train the people underneath you to replace you and take the leap of faith that they won't push you up and out and you end up on the sidelines. But that is actually the only way that you can make those big leaps if you want to go the distance. So from day one, finding ways to pick out the best 2 or 3 emerging leaders in your team and to start training them on things that you would like to be able to hand over to them if you ever have to leave in 6 or 12. This is how you do it. You absolutely have to be aggressive with succession planning. So what do you think of all that?
Smart.
So what are the 4 things that you have to do? It is 1, you regret moving on poor performance. You'll be on weak information. You've got to make gut calls on all the time. You have to model the standards you expect of others, and you You have to aggressively succession plan. These are the 4 things you need to do, and you will see if you get to the higher
bigs.
parts, the bigs. Welcome to the bigs. What do you think of that?
I like it.
Yeah, excellent. You got anything to add?
No,
Does it all sound right?
it does. But I think that even if you're not in the bigs, a lot of these things apply.
Yeah, you start to overlap into them as the more senior that you get. Now, I've got a thing here. Strange fish Racky.
Is that your note?
Fish Racky. That's the only note I've got. What are you talking about?
I was talking this week about, I have this memory of a performance review from very early on in my career.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into too much detail. I was agitating for more, not just money, but everything.
Doesn't sound like you at all.
And think about in a mid or large tier law firm, it's very hierarchical. Everyone's very conscious of what year level people are entering in. And the sort of expectation is that cohorts will move the same rate as one another, right? Your peers.
Laughable, but yes.
Does not align with my view of the world.
I like it.
And what?
It's just funny. The way you've articulated that, I could just actually imagine you being like, this doesn't look right.
Well, it's a bit like what you were describing before when you've got high performers being lumped into the same group as a poor performer.
Yeah.
And it's like, hang on,
Yeah.
am I not
Yeah, it
going to be
doesn't make
recognised
sense
for
to
doing
me.
a better job?
There's some pragmatism to it, but it doesn't make sense. Carry on.
Anyway, and so the partner in those conversations, and don't get me wrong, this was not negative. It wasn't a criticism. It was a genuine expression where he said, "You're a really strange fish, Racky. I just quite don't know what to do with you or where to put you," because I didn't fit in that mold. I didn't fit the natural progression. I wasn't in the same space as my peer cohorts.
But you're not even saying better or worse. You're saying you just didn't fit, like you're just different.
It's just different.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like I did have a very different experience in terms of what I did while I was studying.
Yeah.
I had worked in law firms.
And Fed court.
You know, I had been in courtrooms. So I wasn't like this kind of like fresh little uni student straight out of uni, first job, right?
Yes.
First legal job.
So let's speed run. Strange fish Racky.
So the conversation I was having, and it's something that's been a recurring theme in my life, is accepting that I am different. And a lot of people feel this way. And obviously I'm a big proponent for learning how to play the game and to get fit in and get along. Like you can't just walk around and be totally yourself. As much as people go, oh, you have to do it. I told you I'd be direct.
But I want to be able, I think
You should be completely authentic. Well, good luck. There's got to be some measure and balance. Anyway.
Watch out. I'm going to start a long run up.
Anyway.
About socialisation.
So, well, let's not, just one thing at a time, please. I'm losing my train of thought. So, the conversation I was having and what I was reminded of this week when I had a roadblock was sometimes you can learn to play the game and you can learn to play it very well.
Yes.
Which I have done.
The existing game.
Many times in my life.
Yep.
But sometimes it still doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. And it's very difficult deep down. And that's actually a trap when you're excellent at playing the game, but you're different. And I thought about it this week and I reminded myself that sometimes you need to make up a new game. That it's not actually about playing the game everybody else is playing. Because whatever is different about you can excel and succeed and feel amazing in a different game. I don't know if that's too esoteric.
I was just going to say esoteric, but I'm just deciding where to go with this from here. No,
You don't know where to put me?
No. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's such a complex topic, and I would actually like to do it if you don't mind. Like, have this conversation. This is a serious conversation because you are right. Let's say everyone's individual, but some people fit with the flow of the river better than others. Right? So everyone, even if you flow well with others, doesn't mean you're not an individual. Of course you are, right? You've got your own traits, whatever. But some people don't fit like even with the flow at all. And they're out edge cases, you know, good and bad in some cases. You flow fine with society. Like, you know, you have friends.
this.
But we're both strange sort of cats. Like, we're both a little bit different. For good and for bad. But we get along fine. But I understand, I think underneath it all, it's if you're flowing with a river that doesn't fit your vibration, for the lack of a better expression, it can cause you anxiety, unhappiness.
Yes.
And it might, if you just, that's all fine, I'm just going to keep doing this. 10, 15 years later, you're going to turn your whole life upside down one day.
Like I said, some people are excellent at doing it too.
Yeah, but they don't consciously.
Yeah. And so that's a trap because you think, well, I'm doing it so well. I'm making money, I'm getting promoted, everybody loves me.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
So
I should be doing. Should.
Right? But, and then, you're just constantly forcing yourself into this space that just doesn't quite align. And so it's hard to actually stop and step back and say, there's more than one way to do things.
Yeah, there's thousands of games.
Like for me, in my career, I've worked in top tier law firms, I've worked in mid-tier, I've worked in-house.
Yeah.
I've tried it all and I loved every single place that I worked, every single type of client.
And you've done your own thing now for 7, 8, 10 years, whatever.
But everywhere I was like, I can't do it exactly how I want to. I can't do it in the way that I'm excellent at it because there's infrastructure and there's processes and there's expectations about how you produce work and how you are a lawyer and how the hierarchy works.
Yeah.
And so, I get to the point where I'm like, well, I want to do it my way. So I'm going to do it on my own. And guess what? Every day I get to do it exactly how it aligns with who I am as a person. And I'm much better for it and at it than I would be in somebody else's framework.
But maybe you had to go through those frameworks to work out, hang on, let me finish, what it was that you were moving away from and toward.
100%. And I learnt so much.
Yeah,
so, I said this to you earlier that it drives me nuts. I told you I'll be direct. It drives me nuts when I say something on our socials or in the podcast that then gives people a scapegoat to blame the world or others for something that maybe they have some self-control or control over.
Yep.
So I want to be really clear. I'm not saying that if you feel like this, then everyone's an idiot. Everything else is wrong. You should just go free and do whatever. Like, no, you still need sometimes to get that education, that grounding, that experience, training from smart people.
Yes.
And then find your own way.
But
right?
consciously work your way through. I think that's the key, is to be conscious or unconscious.
So here, what I'm saying is, I've got my own practice and I practice exactly how I want to.
Yeah.
But having worked in other firms as a junior and as I progressed, those are all excellent firms. The people that I learnt from are fantastic practitioners, right? So I'm not saying that they're wrong or bad. They're just different to how I want to do it.
Yeah, and the big game, the big game, the big corporate game and all that sort of thing is not really for either of us. Like, we could do it if you said to me, do you want to go do 5 years at a corporate doing something really interesting? Absolutely, I could do that, no problem. But if you said to me, am I going to do the next 25 years working in a corporate doing something not interesting?
Yes.
No, I don't know that I could play that game. I could play it consciously, technically, I'd do well, and I had to play the corporate game, but I would be empty, right? I would be destroyed.
So what I'm saying is, just because you think you might be different and you want to do things a different way is not an excuse to put down and dismiss the way everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
There is value in all of the different ways everybody does things.
There's just other ways you can do it.
There's just other ways you can do it. You have agency. You can choose. You can accept that it's not for you, but that doesn't mean it's bad or that they're wrong, I suppose, is where I'm getting at.
And then the next step is to that. Let's go down the responsibility path, is that you can, if you're smart about it, you can consciously decide, then I don't fit here. I'm going to go on a journey of finding out where I do fit. That might take years. It might actually take a lot of time.
Almost always does.
Right? If you think there's a shortcut to this, shortcuts are always the longest cuts. you basically have to go, right, this is what I want to do, this is what I don't like doing, and start building a narrative, and then start looking out into the universe to say, all right, universe, send me things that fit this criteria, and you start on that journey, and off you go, and look where you landed.
You've been around me too much, Christian. Universe.
Maybe I have been the universe man the whole time, right? But no,
Why do you always argue with me then when I raise it?
I am a believer in magnetizing, and you are what you think about. Like, you are what you think about. In the end, that's all you are, is all the thoughts you have. And if you choose a direction, you have to choose a direction if you want to go anywhere. And what happens is when you, scientifically, if you choose a path, your mind will start seeing things in that direction for you.
Isn't that cool?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Right? So
that book, Conscious Luck.
Yeah.
There was that... there was the experiment with the newspaper and people who identified themselves as being lucky. I'm gonna
you butcher it, but
I'm gonna butcher it. But basically, they were asked, look in the paper for as many instances of anything to do with a flower. Let's just say.
Yeah.
People who consider themselves, who self-reported as being lucky people, found let's just go 80%. I don't know, a lot more flowers in the newspaper than the people who said, I'm not lucky, things never work out for me.
Wow.
And this book, Conscious Luck, is fantastic because it's basically, if you've got this mindset, like you said, of, expecting the best and things working out and whatever, then you see things. These things are there, but if you've got a shitty mindset, you're just not going to see them.
Yeah, so let's be a little bit...
We've digressed.
No, but this is actually really important because you're saying shitty mindset. I'm just saying, if let's say you've made a decision, it's going back to what you're saying about playing your own game.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like the game I'm in, let's say, right? Whole game, life, every hierarchy and game that you're a part of you don't like and you want to change them all. Mm-hmm. Okay, then you have to make a conscious decision that I'm going to make these changes. What do I want from the game?
Yeah.
And what do I not want? And that will shave the edges over and then you can pick a path. And once you've got a path, it's funny, I've got a quote. I've got a couple of quotes I'm going to finish this episode with. And one of them is right on this. That's unbelievable.
We have to pause, I think.
Conscious Luck. Have we gone past time already? We are going to finish on this, okay? So I've got 3 quotes. And one of them is relevant to this.
All right.
The quote that's relevant to this is from Nietzsche. It's, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how.
I love it.
Once you pick your direction, you can carry a lot more crap. The crap that would bother you without direction will stop bothering you. I'm going there. I know I don't want that. I know I do want that. I'm locked in. All these things that bother you at the edges disappear. Number 2, this is from Naval Ravikant, and if you've not read any of Naval's stuff or watched him, you should. He's amazing. Play long-term games with long-term people.
Ooh.
Games. If you've got short-term game people in your life, that's fine. No, but if that's all you got, your life is you're just never going to be happy. I'm sorry, you're never going to be happy. You need people in your life that are thinking long and that are playing long, right? That are patient. And finally, this is really important. Don't tell your teacher you're trying to beat them, then they'll have something to work towards. Laura Racky.
Don't.
So we have the readathon going at school for our youngest, and they're in competition with their teacher, and we've gone past them. No. And you said to our youngest, don't tell your teacher how many books you've read because then they'll hunt you down.
You missed a few steps there. She was not interested or motivated to read and push the number up of the books. She had no external or internal motivation to drive her to compete, right? So I created...
You said the teacher's there, let's run them down.
The tiger mum in me was like, let's go.
You're not direct at all.
The tiger mum in me, I was like, hey, look how many books your teacher's read. Let's read more than her. And so every night we look at where the teacher's at And that's what we're going
Just
for.
to remember that quote as the last thing.
And-
Don't tell your teacher you're trying to beat them, then they'll have something to work towards. This is...
It's okay because there's one day left in the readathon.
Yes.
We're at 32 books.
We are.
And the teacher is at 16. So I
Yes.
think we're going to be fine.
I think the teacher, wonderful person they are, has done the right thing and dropped anchor and got everyone started and then dropped anchor correctly. But I just had to include that's a very important third quote.
But it's been so good. You know I love books.
I'm going to finish that, repeat those quotes. Play long-term games with long-term people. Seriously. That includes marriage. Go and get married if you're not married. He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. And when you could spend a year thinking about that. When you actually think about that and you think about it and think about it, things just disappear.
But you don't even have to be so high level about that and have a meaning for life. It can be, why do I have to work through this data set in this spreadsheet? Like, this is really
Yes.
boring. Oh, but hang on. I need to do this so that I can provide it to finance, and then finance can model it, and then we can work out our budget, and then we know how we price our tenders to clients.
Yeah, so I mean, you're going to open up whole doors that we don't have time for. But if you can start to explain to people the inputs and what, like, you're making widgets and the widgets build the MCG, you're building the MCG. That's the why, right? Oh, okay, great. I can do 1,000 widgets a day because we're building the bloody MCG and I can drive past it. Okay, that's it. We've run out of time. I don't know. That was pretty good.
Good, because I'm hungry.
Anything else to add before we go?
No.
Toxic environments. We had a good one.
I wish we didn't call it toxic environments, actually, in hindsight. I hate that expression.
That's okay. We'll just,
I think it's a scapegoat. I think it's easy for everyone. Oh, they're toxic. Let's take some responsibility for ourselves, guys.
I think you've walked both sides of the street on this one now, so that's good. You've got some outs. Okay, let's just stop.